Here's an example. I want to make this a perfect square. That's what solve by completing a square means. So this last term 3, I want to put my own, sorry here, it's negative 4x. This last term 3, I don't want to use that, so I'll move it to the other side. I want to use my own term. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. And I will use my own term here. And that term, to make it a perfect square, has to be a term that I take this middle coefficient, right? I divide it by 2, negative 2, and I square what I get. And I get 4, whatever I get, that goes in here. And if I do that, that makes it a perfect square. So this is going to become a perfect square, means perfect square like that. And since I added 4 to this side, and I gotta add 4 to the other side. So on the other side I have negative 3 plus 4 gives me positive 1. And this perfect square is going to be 8. Is it going to be plus or minus? Because there's a negative here. If they were all positive, it'd be positive. Because of this negative, it's going to be negative, minus. And I'm not going to use 4. I'm going to use the number that I used before I squared, which was 2. Okay, so x minus 2. Now we're going to use a method, the third method, where you have a square and you don't have anything else next to it, so you could use, remember rule number 3, by square root. Okay, that's what we're going to use here. So we're going to clear this out by using a square root, but you got to do it to both sides. And you can only do it because there's nothing else next to it, so that would just clear this out. Okay, so I'll be left with x minus 2 equals square root of 1 is 1, so I'll get positive or negative 1. And remember we talked about when you take a square root, you get positive or negative. And here we're left with x plus 2. So positive, that will give me two different answers. So I have x minus 2 equals positive 1. That's giving me one answer. I'm going to rewrite it another way, x minus 2. And then in the second one I'll use negative 1. I'm going to write them separately so I can see the two answers. So here I want to solve for x. I'll move the negative 2 becomes positive 2. X equals positive 3. And on the right hand side, move the 2, positive 2. X equals negative 1 plus 2 becomes positive 1. So here I have my two answers. And this we did by completing the square.